Hello and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV with me, Meoni. I've been very eager to see if this would be updated and fixed, and thankfully it seems that Final Fantasy XIV has been updated to address the issue. So of course we are talking about a pretty big exploit. We'll get more on that in a second, but this is what's happened. You might notice that there's a bit of an update, a little patch, or you might not notice if you're on decent internet, but when you load in you might be going, there's some downtime and a patch. So this update, 6th of June 2023, so today, it says, as a temporary measure to an issue with Pandaemonium and Masayoshi Savage, so the new Savage tier, the following general actions will be disabled during battle. So previously you could use desynthesis, ethereal reduction, retrieving materia, affixing materia, repairing your gear, dye, and casting glamour. Now, we'll get that in a second. It says, this issue is related to core processing, including action execution and battle-related processes, and since it involves an exceedingly wide scope of investigation and correction, it is expected to take some time to address the issue. Therefore, we have implemented a temporary measure for only Pandaemonium and Masayoshi Savage, which has just been released and has been greatly affected by this issue. We will officially announce the details and timing. So what was going on, Meoni? Well, if you click this link that they have, it says this was posted on May the 30th, so this is the follow-up from May the 30th. So it says, the following issue has been confirmed. It is possible to avoid knockback effects of actions used by enemies when using certain general actions, such as desynthesize and repair during combat. Oh my god. It says, please do not attempt to exploit this bug when progressing duties, as exploitation of bugs falls under prohibited behaviors. You're gonna get banned if you do it and get caught. We apologize for the delay in discovering this issue, which has been latent for some time, and for any inconvenience it may have caused. However, please be aware that it is confirmed, if it is confirmed that you have been exploiting this bug when progressing duties after the news was posted, an account penalty will be issued based on the terms of service. When the boss performs double meteor in either the Voidcast Deus or the Voidcast Deus Extreme, there are cases where the knockback is not correctly calculated if the targeted characters for the mechanic were in the same position. So that's another issue that was there, so they've addressed that as well. But this is very interesting. I would like to see how this has actually changed the world first race and how many people, I don't know, did people use this? I don't know. Let's go back to the other article. So as they said before, they are addressing this, and the servers will be back, or should be back, at the time of you watching this video, with these hot fixes, which is a mini patch. It says the settings for the data center travel world visit systems have been changed so that even during congestion when requests to transfer are not available, requests for returning to the home world can still be submitted by selecting return to home world from the submenu on the character selection screen. So this is another one of the fixes. It says this system, which had been prepared in anticipation of possible future needs, was verified and released last weekend on short notice. So to ensure the users can use the system comfortably, we will thoroughly monitor it to ensure that irregular cases will not affect the system in the future. If there is a high congestion immediately after the end of maintenance, application for data center world travel system will be unavailable even through the return to home world. In that case, it will be available again as soon as the congestion settles down. So please wait for a while before trying again. So at least they've addressed some kind of crisis management situations for for high values of traffic coming back to the game or trying to load in at once. And it looks like the data center world travel system was affected, and they've taken good measures. Very good job. Another one says temporary measure for the following issue has also been implemented. There was an error message, one or more items did not have a specified appearance, will appear when switching to a gear set with different glamour plates associated with the same equipment. This issue will continue to persist if a gear has been set to cover multiple pieces on the glamour plates. For cases where the issue continues to occur, we are planning to address them in a later patch, so we ask for your patience as we work on resolving the issue. So if you've been getting the one or more items did not have the specified appearance bug, like the error message, don't worry too much about it. They are going to fix that later. Honestly, the portrait system is not the most self-explanatory system that they've ever incorporated into the game. I think it's fair to say. So there are certainly a few ways that they could improve it, and I would like it to be simplified, perfectly honest. There is 2 separate ways of portraiting through Adventurer Plate and normal duty portraits. Maybe just have one menu with a drop down or something. I don't know, maybe like a permanent button or something. It does break quite a lot, in my opinion. And finally, we've got the following issues have been addressed. So in Anabasius, the 10th Circle, and Anabasius, the 10th Circle Savage raid dungeons, the attack indicator for the enemy attack entangling web disappeared when executing the general action jump. So this was a big one. When the boss performed Eventide Triad during the Voidcast Deus Extreme, attack targets were incorrect under certain conditions, and sound would not play under certain conditions. So this is something I have an issue with myself. First of all, they thought this was like a controller related issue. I unplugged all controllers from my PC. It still happened quite regularly. So I'm eagerly anticipating to see if this did in fact fix it, because I would play for like an hour or maybe 4 hours or maybe 30 minutes, doesn't matter, and it would replicate itself for no seeming reason. So that's apparently been addressed. In the Island Sanctuary, leaving the supply and demand window open with multiple products listed causes the client to forcibly close when the clock passes midnight. Interesting. This is that small bug that we talked about before. They seem to have fixed it. The client would freeze when selecting view items for sale for a retainer placed on estate properties. That's interesting. Nice to see that they fixed that. In a crafting log, searching for Diadokos would search up several items all named Diadokos Sword. In addition, selecting Diadokos Sword, opening the subcommand menu and selecting from a recipe would cause the client to freeze. Ouch. The following status information would be displayed in Japanese in the variant dungeons, so which is the cures and the ultimatum, variant raise, that sort of stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of fixes in this which were sorely needed. Some obviously more minor than the major ones. But the biggest thing for me, and obviously everyone else, is the fact that there was an exploit. People knew about an exploit. They potentially used an exploit. And it was as simple as basically using, as they say here, desynthesis, ethereal reduction, retrieve materia, affixing materia, repairing, dying, casting glamour. So all of that is disabled. So if you want to repair, if you're currently in Anabasia Savage, you have to go outside. Apparently it would prevent knockbacks. I don't know the details of this, how people are actually doing it, at what point, and I have no real interest in trying to replicate that mentally. All I know is that this is obviously against terms of service, as they have stated, and it's good that they've addressed it, but you want to be careful not to replicate any of these things yourself. If you see somebody do something like this, there's a good chance that it's not intentional, and those players will probably receive an account penalty. Especially like you might see your favorite streamers or something do something. Don't do it. Don't put your account that you've risked, don't put your account at risk that you've put so many hours into. Think of it as your child. You would not put your child in front of, a highway, would you? It's not a good idea. But yes, I'm glad that they've addressed that. Obviously, people who did tech, if they were using the ability to repair or whatever during a piece of content whilst a knockback was going on, it's going to be very hard to defense that, because it's kind of, well, they knew what they were doing, right? Basically, it's not like accidental usage of these things is possible. I was desynthing a piece of gear when the boss did a knockback. Oh, the knockback didn't happen. I'd like to know if this has been something that you've seen. If you do know about this, or you know anyone that's done this, obviously don't name and shame, but I would like to hear your stories. I'm very interested. Anyway, link in the description. That's it for today's news. Hopefully the game continues to work strides in the direction for its glamour system and portrait system, and hopefully we get a decent answer to all of this in 7.0 with some nice juicy quality of life changes. Much love, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy Diablo 4 if you're playing it, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.